Yeah, so Charity Water actually started with a birthday. September 7th, 2006, the first thing that happened with our charity was that our founder, Scott Harrison, who was a former nightclub promoter, threw a birthday party, asked all his friends to give $20 at the door, and sent all that money to Uganda and built 3 new wells and rehabbed 3 wells. And every year we've scaled it. We realised it's really hard to make one birthday party 200 times bigger, but it's easy to get 200 other people to give up a birthday. So for a long time we only did this in September. We did a focused September campaign where we asked September babies to give up their birthday and ask for donations instead of gifts. It worked really well. Within 2 years. In 2008 it was a $1 million campaign, and then we thought, well, it makes sense to have people who aren't only born in September do it. There's 11 more months in the year. So we built a simple website, mycharitywater.org, where anyone can give up a birthday and ask for donations instead of gifts at any time, knowing that 100% of the money will directly fund clean water projects. We can pay back credit card fees, and knowing that they'll see their impact. They'll see photos of the water projects, they'll see GPS coordinates. Whether you raise $1, whether you raise $100,000, you'll see your impact. And so since then, thousands of people have joined us. We've had Justin Bieber's given up 2 birthdays, Jack Dorsey of Twitter's given up 3 birthdays, but thousands of regular people have done their birthdays as well. I do mine every year and don't raise anywhere near as much as Justin Bieber. But it's most inspiring when we see kind of little kids doing a birthday or things like that. But it's become a real focus for us. We've seen people do all sorts of things to fundraise for clean water, but one of the simplest ideas is giving up a birthday. If you think about it, after you turn about 21, your birthdays aren't really that special anymore, you don't need any more stuff. We think that we can help you do something much more significant, which is bring a water project to a village and change hundreds of lives. Dollars is most important because dollars allow us to do work in the field, but we tend to not only think about dollars. If someone writes $1 million check, I'd almost prefer to have 1,000 people raise $1,000 from their friends. Because if someone quietly writes $1 million check, that's one person making a huge impressive contribution, but it's not a story being shared, it's not new people being brought to the cause. A lot of our digital campaigns, you'll see 1,000 people go out there and fundraise and raising an average of $1,000 and telling 13 new people about it. Average campaign is 13 donations. So if we can give them an amazing story, help them explain the world water crisis to all their friends, and at the same time undergo an act of service that's more compelling than giving alone, we think that's really important. So I actually think from our digital front, the most important metric for us is how many people have seen their impact. How many people have seen the water projects they've funded, and have they been changed as an individual as a result? We'd like to think that maybe we see a 10-year-old give up their birthday and raise $300. When we get to show them that $300 has made an impact in the world, we hope that 10-year-old will be a more generous person for their entire life and hopefully more connected with the water issue. That's the ultimate success, and if we get that right and we build a great relationship with our donors, then the dollars come. Charity Water's been growing very rapidly, but it's really growing because of the grassroots movement. At the start of it, it's inspiring through content. It's really important to inspire people, to make them take an action. People don't know that there's a world water crisis. It's not an issue that in the West we've been personally connected with. Very, very rare. So inspiring them and telling a story that they connect with is the most important piece. We do that very well, I think. The creatives who work with me are some of the best creatives I've ever worked with. Our founder is a natural storyteller. He's really our storyteller-in-chief. That storytelling aspect is so important at the first element. Second element is providing a platform to allow us to let people make our story their story. So any individual can make their own page and tell their own story in their own way. We've got a fundraiser this week that people have been tweeting about like crazy. It's a woman named Sarah Peck who's trying to raise $29,000 through 1,029 donations. If she hits that target, she thinks it's an impossible target, she's going to swim from Alcatraz to San Francisco without a bathing suit. And that idea has been really fundamental, and we would never market this ourselves, but Sarah's doing an amazing fundraiser that people are really connecting with. The third element is about customer experience. So the third element is, if giving up a birthday for Charity Water is a better experience than having a normal birthday and getting a whole bunch of crappy presents, then the potential growth of our business is astronomical. So the three together, inspiring through story, handing off the platform to others, and then giving them an amazing experience that means that they have a great time, their friends love donating, and the campaigner looks like a hero. Those are the fundamental drivers of our digital growth, which year on year has been something like 80%. I think that the first thing I would say is positivity really matters. We tell positive stories all the time. Traditional fundraising, especially direct marketing fundraising that I've seen, frequently plays with guilt or frequently makes people feel bad. I often see commercials that make me feel upset and want me to instantly give $20. We prefer to tell positive stories, stories that inspire people, stories that people will want to share. I often say, the kind of person who would share a sad dog video on their Facebook page. You have to be a sociopath. So positive stories is one thing I believe is really important in this new sharing web economy. Another lesson that I think is really fundamental and kind of counterintuitive is don't ask for money. We don't ask for money much at all. We want people to commit service, we want people to fundraise, we want people to inspire their friends to give. We don't just want their wallet. And so at the end of the year, email you'll get from Charity Water will be a really cool video that will excite you and hopefully make you feel inspired, as opposed to an email with a huge donate button that wants $20 from you now. I think on December 28th this year I received 5 different fundraising emails asking me for $20. So it's a different model. So that's 2 of my bigger, more counterintuitive messages. One more would be focus on story. And telling stories well is really hard, but can really take a cause to a whole new level, because every cause that I've ever seen has an amazing story at its core. I think one of the most important things about social media is what you say doesn't really matter that much. People don't really get this. It's very much like, what do I do on my Twitter, what do I do on my Facebook, and how do I get more Twitter followers and more likes? To some extent that's important, but it's not the most important thing. What's more important is, what are 1,000 people saying about you today? There's probably 10,000 people who love your cause. What inspiring content have you given them to share? What have you given them that they can take to their friends to take a message from your organisation out to the masses and introduce them to your cause? When we launch a campaign, what we push through Charity Water channels, which are quite large, we have 1.3 million Twitter followers, 230,000 on our Facebook page, but that pales into insignificance against the wider universe and the many multiples of friends they have. So for me, it's often about the 10,000 people who love us the most. How do I maximise a story they can tell? Or find different ways to tell stories to different people. I never would have come up with a story about someone swimming without a swimsuit from Alcatraz to San Francisco. We had another couple earlier in the year who weren't going to get married until they raised $5,000 to help build a well. I never would have thought of that story. Thousands of people connected with that story. So if you can inspire through content, hand off the platform, and then give them a few tools to take it, your audience can do much more of the work than you can do through just talking yourself.